Hey guys, this is going to be a short tutorial on how to change your iPhone 3GS screen. We're going to go ahead and replace the existing cracked screen with this digitizer here. Um, it is just the glass and digitizer. It does not include the mid-frame. So we will be separating the two and getting rid of the old glass, putting in the new glass touchscreen and digitizer, and repairing this iPhone 3GS here to new condition. Okay guys, we're going to start off by taking the two bottom screws out of the iPhone. There's one on each side of the charging connector here at the bottom. Just go ahead and set those screws aside. Next, you're going to want to take your small suction cup here, stick it to the bottom portion of the screen, somewhere down in this area, as close to the home button as you can, because when we lift the screen, we're going to lift it this way, pulling the home button section of the screen here up first. All the connections are right here on the top right portion of the screen, directly underneath. Other connections we're going to need to release in order to release the digitizer, LCD, and mid-frame. Now the way I like to do this is I like to grab the key ring with one finger, okay, and then use my thumb as well as my middle finger to hold on to the phone like this. That way, while I'm pulling up on the screen, I can take my middle spludger and sort of assist the screen on coming out. Like that. It should come out pretty easy. You shouldn't have to apply much pressure at all. Sometimes it'll come right out with just the key ring here, but like I said, I prefer to use the spludger. Just shove it down in this section of the screen, right down here. Don't shove it into the phone too far because the charging connector is right underneath here. You just want to stick it in enough to where you can get some leverage on the bottom of that screen just to help it up. And then you can go ahead and remove your suction cup here. Okay, next we're going to lift the screen from the bottom up like I said before. And you'll see all the connectors here are right inside the phone. We're going to end up releasing this connector here, this connector here, and there's a small connector right underneath these two. Sits right back in here. Sorry, sits right under here. It has to be released as well. So that's three connectors total that have to be released. Now you want to be easy. You don't want to break these connectors. They go in order. Number one here, which is for your LCD. the second one here, which is your digitizer, and then the third one is underneath. It's probably going to be a little bit difficult to show you guys. You could see it right there. It's labeled number 3. There we go. See it labeled number 3 there. Now in order to get this one up, you have to lift up on the tab, the black tab there. I'll show you. I'm sorry, lift up on the white portion of the tab in order to release it. And then once you have the white tab lifted, just go ahead and wiggle the screen out. I'll show you here closer what I did with that tab. Okay, here's the tab here that had to be lifted. It was in the down position. Okay, so it was like this. Sorry. Okay, it was like this. It's closed. Now whenever it's closed like that, it is pinching the cable into the connector so that it can't accidentally slide out if you were to drop the phone. So you must lift this up in order to slide that cable out of there. Do not apply pressure without lifting this, or you could break the actual connector. So what I like to do is line the screws up in the order they came out of the phone. So on this side of the LCD you have 2 screws. Okay, we're going on the opposite side you have 3 screws. And you also have 1 screw up here at the top. You want to make sure you get all those screws out. And you really have to be cautious. Okay, now in order to get this LCD up, I've noticed a lot of people do it a lot of different ways. The way I like to do it is, rather than trying to pry here underneath and getting underneath the LCD screen, I don't like to do that, because you put pressure on the screen here, too much pressure, and you're going to break it. So what I do is I like to take my metal spludger and stick it right between the LCD and the mid frame, right here, just the metal of the LCD, not the screen itself. So I'll try to show you guys here. There we go. Right between those two there. And just pry up. Which will free that. Well, now when you see the white, you know the LCD is lifted. It does have a small clip right here. Not really a clip, but just a small piece of plastic that locks this LCD screen in. So whenever you go to remove it, you need to lift both sides. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to grab the screen like this and just slide it straight back like that. So as when your screen's together, it'll be like this. Once you have it loose, you're going to just slide it straight down and then out. So you're going to want to start off by first heating this area up here and this area down here with a heat gun or a hair dryer. You want to make sure that you continuously move the heat gun around these areas. You don't want to leave it on too long. Okay, that should be enough to get this thing pried off, or at least started. Typically I like to start up here in one of the two corners, but because the screen is cracked here, I'm going to go ahead and start down here at the bottom. I'm going to take my metal spludger and I'm going to get between the glass and the mid frame. Just work your way around here. You may have some adhesive come off while you're working this free. Now this screen here was, or I'm sorry, this phone had already been repaired once by someone other than myself. And I know that because this cable did not have a number 2 on it and is not a original digitizer. So you just want to work your way around prying. You want to be careful around the home button there. Definitely don't want to damage anything. Okay, we have the bottom part off. Now we can move up to the top section of the screen. Up here. Same thing. We just want to very carefully work around. Now when you get to the speaker assembly, you want to be careful not to break anything. Okay. Should be it. broken glass. You can see the adhesive came right off with the glass, which is good. We're going to replace that adhesive anyway, so it doesn't matter. Once you get the screen off, we're going to go ahead and peel off any old adhesive that was left on. As you can see here, you got all this old adhesive that needs to come off so that we can replace that with new. So that's what it should look like whenever you're done. Then go ahead and get your new glass screen ready. You want to make sure you get the film off the back of the digitizer itself. Now once you take this film off, okay, everything looks good. We're going to go ahead and lay the screen in. I start with the bottom portion so I can get the home button in first. And then once your home button is lined up, everything else should lay in pretty easy. As you bring the top forward, just fold these down, these cables, like that, so they come out the back, just like your broken screen did. And then press everything in. Make sure your home button's clicking. Okay, everything looks like it's flush. Okay, looks good. Okay, we're ready to put the LCD screen back in. Okay, we're ready to go ahead and throw it back together. Now we're going to put it back together the same way we took it out. We're going to put the top in first. And then we're going to make sure this clip here at the top, right here, this clip right here, this silver clip here slides underneath the black portion here of the speaker assembly. It's just going to slide straight under, just like that. And then all we're going to do is go around the sides, work it in. Now, if you get to a point where it doesn't seem like it wants to go in easily, don't force it in. Just take your metal spludger, plastic pry tool, put it between the edges, and it'll slide right in there. Same with the other side. Doesn't want to snap in with ease, take your tool, boom, done. Okay, we're going to put our screws back in.
Okay guys, once you have all 6 screws put back in, we are ready to put the phone back together. Now it may take a second to get the phone snapped in, all the connections on, but you have to go in reverse order, the exact opposite of the way we took it apart. So the cable labeled 3 underneath all the other cables right here. We're going to go ahead and put that one in first. Right there. The smallest of the 3. And the easiest way to do that is to try and push the other cables back so you can access it. Bring the screen in on an angle. There we go. Just play with it until you get it in there. Make sure it's in all the way, because without that cable, your speaker assembly won't work, so you won't be able to hear anyone when they call. So if you put your phone back together and you get a call, but you can't hear the person on the other line, chances are that third cable isn't in. Now with the other 2 here, what you're going to want to do is sort of just feel around till it feels like it's lined up. And you'll feel it click in. And then the last but not least, the LCD. It's going to be difficult to do it so you guys can see, but I'm sure you get the picture. I want to make sure all 3 cables are snapped back down. Okay, there we go. Okay, now once you got the cable snapped back in, what you can do is slide the top part of the screen on an angle down into the metal part of the phone. So it should look like this. Let me try to. Okay, it should look like this going in. Okay, on an angle. Same as when we pulled it out. Except we're going to do it in reverse order. But before we snap the bottom part in, what we're going to do, just to make sure everything is working like it should, we're going to go ahead and power on. Okay. Check your touch screen. Make sure everything seems to be working. Okay, everything seems to be good there. And just slowly work the bottom in. Just like that. Now you don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on the bottom. Doesn't take a whole lot to get this bottom part back in. Once you put it in, go ahead and check, make sure your home button's working, touch screen's responding, and if everything works well, go ahead and put the 2 bottom screws back in. Now